Hello and welcome to this presentation of Urbano Visio. Urbano Visio is a pipe networks data management add-in with advanced features for pipe and structure selection, editing and analysis. Let me show you how to increase your productivity when working with gravitational pipes. You can find Urbano Visio in the standard Civil 3D palette window, which you can move anywhere on screen, and I will dock it just at the bottom of the screen. For this presentation I have a small example project made completely with Civil 3D, both the plan and also the profiles. And on the left side you can see that we have two pipe networks, so storm and sanitary networks. And Urbano Visio allows us to review all of the networks we have in our own design just by selecting them directly from this list. So the first thing I want to show you is the ability to create your own data groups, which we call configurations. Now configurations enable you to really focus on certain types of data, so you don't have to look all the data of all the projects at the same time. You can create your own data configuration and you can review just the data which is inside of this configuration. Okay, so to start I will create a simple configuration for pipes. I will give it a name and I'm going to data selection, and the first thing you will notice is that we put all the data available in Civil 3D into different groups, so it's easier for you to find the appropriate data you're looking for. So I'm just going to create a very simple group with just a few information, for example length and also inner diameter. Okay, if you want to change the order of some data, you can just use the arrow keys. Also you can give your own name, and also you can give prefixes and suffixes. In this case I don't want the slope to display in promiles, I want it in percentages, so I give the suffix and also I multiply the value by 100. Press OK, click on my test configuration, press OK again, and as you can see now I have only the 5 different data which I selected for my configuration. So the next thing I want to show you are the different types of data selections which you can use. So the default selection is always select all, but you can also use a very simple cat selection. So just make a selection window and the appropriate elements will be shown in the data grid. I can also select just some pipes which I choose from the drawing, and a similar selection is available also for structures. Now I can also go and select branches. Branches are created automatically by the software, so they are an element sequence from start or end to the next intersection or between two intersections. So I just select a branch and the elements will be displayed. I can do this again and the selection will change. I can also do a direct element sequence selection, so I can start and select any kind of element sequence. So I can go in any direction I like and just select the appropriate elements. And in the end I can also select pipes and structures directly from the profiles. So when I hover over a profile, the program will highlight it, and I can just click and select the appropriate data from this profile. Now, the important thing with Urbano Visio is that I can immediately highlight any element in the design as soon as I click on this element in the data grid. So wherever I click in the data grid, you can see a highlight appears in the plan view and also in the profile view. And this is also true if I make a multi-selection of elements, so multiple elements will be highlighted in the profile view and also in the plan view, and all this happens automatically. Also, if I don't like the color of this highlight, I can simply go into the settings and change this color, and the next time I select something, the color will be changed. Also, inside of this data grid, I can use the arrow keys to navigate, and the usual home and end and control home and control end keyboard commands to select something. And also, if I click in this top left corner, everything will be selected that is shown in the data grid, and immediately I see it also in the plan view and in the profile view. And to finish off this introduction, we also have the ability to zoom in into the plan and also into the profile. And when I move, I can again zoom in. The same is true also if I make a multi-selection. I can zoom in to this profile or to this layout. And if I want, I can also include auto zoom, which will automatically move the view to the selected element. And also I can select auto zoom to work in the profile, the same as in plan view, and also multi-select will automatically zoom in to the appropriate plan or profile views. Also, in the settings, I can change the values, the zoom factors, to the plan and to the profile separately. Okay, so after the program basics, I want to show you some editing. And I will start with structure editing. And the first thing I want to do is change the name of the structure. So I just make a selection, I right click and go into edit value. And here I can use several available tags to help me along with some smart features. I can also set the counter, step, number of digits and so on. So in the table below I see the current name and the new name. And if I want to rename multiple elements, I just type in the new value, I can review the name and I click OK. And as soon as I do this, this value will be changed in the data grid of Urbano Visio, but also it changes in the drawing within Civil 3D. So this is of course a feature of Civil 3D, which is a dynamic software, so whenever you change something, it automatically changes in all other views. Next, I can also change the type of structure equally well. So I just select the structures I want to change. Again, I choose edit value, and now my part list opens up. I have a very small part list, and I can just select a new part type from the part list, click OK, and the structure will change immediately. I can also go to the profile, and for example, if I want to change a numeric value like the sum depth, I can select it again, press edit value, I type in a new value, and you can see the value changed, but also because of the dynamic nature of Civil 3D, everything was redrawn automatically. Now I can edit pipes in a similar way I edited the structures. So first of all, I will just select this profile. I use my test configuration, and I want to change the pipe names. So as you can see, the structure names have been changed and the pipe names are still generic, so I want to change them now. I can go into the Visio table, I select the whole column, meaning the whole profile in this case, and I go into edit value, and this time I will use something a little bit different. I will use some special tags. So I will use the tags for the starting and ending node names, meaning my pipes will now be renamed according to starting and ending node names. And when I zoom in, I can verify that it really like that. Okay, if I go to the next example, I can select a sequence, zoom in, and here you can see all the pipes have the same diameter. Again, I can use a very similar method to just very quickly change the diameter. So when I go into editing, my part list opens, and I just select a new diameter, a new pipe from the part list, press OK, and after that you can see all the diameters have been updated. Now in Urbano Visio we can also work with additional types of data. For example, we can work with custom data from the part list. So the first thing I will do is I will go into my test configuration, and I'm going to add this custom data. So I have prepared here two types, custom category and custom street. Let's say OK. And currently they are undefined everywhere. So let me move over to this section, and I will take this element sequence, and now it's quite simple to set this data. I just go into editing and I type in a new value, and as soon as I do this, you see also the label updated here, and I can do the same for the street. For example, I can name it Main Street. Okay. Next thing you can do with Urbano Visio is you can draw also AutoCAD tables. So I just select the data I want, I click Draw Table, and there you have it. That's your standard AutoCAD table, with the difference that this AutoCAD table also includes Civil 3D data. In this case, custom data from the part list and also standard Civil 3D data. So there's another feature that your standard Civil 3D cannot do. And there's also something in addition to this. So for example, if I go into the Visio grid and want to make some changes, I can do it, of course, and the information in the data grid will change, also in the labels and also in the table I just draw. And this also applies to editing I perform with Civil 3D. So let's take, for example, this pipe length of 28. So if I select this, if I select this pipe with Civil 3D, and I take this grip and just make this pipe longer, you will see that this length also updated, and it updated also in the grid. Now, besides custom data from the part list, Urbano Visio can also work with object data, which are very well known from Map 3D, but you can also use them in Civil 3D. So I set up a test table with two data here, and I can also use it in my configuration. So I will again go into the configuration editor, and I will just scroll down, find the object data, and add it to this configuration. Okay. And again, this data is undefined, and it's quite simple just to select, click edit value, and then type in any value you want. For example, the status is good, and for the flow we can say it's rain flow. And once we finish editing, once we want to export some information, we can do this also and export information to an external program. For example, I can select this data grid, this table, just click on copy, and then go into Excel and just paste all this information into Excel. And now you can of course look at all this data and do some additional editing as is needed. Of course, this applies to any selection you can make with Urbano Visio. Another thing you can use Urbano Visio with is the existing expressions system. And I have set up a quite simplified calculation of a pipe trench with the expression settings. So I'm just going to go into the settings for pipe, label styles, plane and profile, and at the bottom you have the expressions. And so I created these expressions to calculate this trench volume, and if you want to see, this is how the formula looks like. So this is completely up to you what you want to create and do with these expressions. And in the default Civil 3D, expressions can be used in labels, but with Urbano Visio we decided to give them some additional value. So the first thing again is I'm going to my configuration editor, and this time I'm not going to edit, I'm going to create a new configuration, call it expression. And here again I have all this calculation that I prepared, so I'm just going to take it all on the right side, make no changes, it's okay, and just click OK. And now when I switch to my expressions configuration, you will see that the trench volume, the pipe volume, the different areas and so on, which are defined in this formula, are all recalculated, and they are recalculated in real time. So and this is what Civil 3D does as default. So I can go into any part of the drawing, and every time this information for this simple trench calculation will be recalculated. And of course I can do the same thing I did before. I can just copy this information, go into Excel, and just paste it inside. And by using expressions in Urbano Visio, it's quite simple to prepare some kind of simple report. Okay, the last feature I want to show you is the use of filters. So filters allow us to select only certain pipes and structures which meet some set of criteria we make. So I'm going to make a simple filter for pipes. I'm just going to say add, and I will give it a name, test filter. And I start by selecting the value I'm going to probe. So in this case I'm going to use 3D length center to center. Then I can give it a logical operator, so equal, greater than, greater or equal, and similar. I will use greater than. And in the last field I can select any value from the design, or I can simply type my own value and just click on add. Press OK. So now when I apply this filter, you saw the quick recalculation, and now the program says he selected exactly 11 pipes. And when I go through the data grid, the program will show me exactly where these pipes are. Now I can go back to my filter. I select my test filter and I can refine it. I can add an additional category. For example, I can use this category of inner diameter. I will say equal to, and I will select a predefined value of 0.4, and I will add it also. So now what will this do? This will now concatenate these two expressions. So the filter will now select pipes with a 3D length center to center which are greater than 40 and an inner diameter which is exactly equal to 0.4. Okay. Now when the filter is applied, you can see we have only 2 pipes. And so these are the 2 pipes which support this expanded filter. Okay, in the end, let me just give you a quick tip on how to rename all of your pipes according to branch names. So first I will select an element sequence. I will start from here to here, and I will select the name, go into editing and give it a branch name, for example B1. Let's review and press OK. After that, you go on and select the second branch, for example this one. Then again select the whole column, go into editing, give it a new branch name, for example B2, in the same pattern. OK. And so on. So you can continue renaming like this until you finish, and you will have your whole project renamed according to branches. Okay, so thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Have a nice day.